Welcome to episode number 3 of the Make It Matter podcast. Last episode, we talked about the importance of your story. In this episode, we'll talk about how that story can drive everything that you do. Well, hello everyone. This is the Make It Matter podcast. For entrepreneurs and business owners, we believe what you do is so much more than a daily grind. We want to give you strategies that will allow your work to have more impact and resources to help you share your story with the world. So you ready? Let's go. Welcome to Make It Matter, episode number 3. We are back for number 3, and we are here in the studio. My name is Hanju Lee. I am your host.
And I'm Dave Brubaker.
Okay, we've gotten 2 episodes out, and I'm getting just awesome feedback of how this episode is kind of changing the way they think about their business, how their leadership role is changing a bit. We just talked to one of our clients that just when we were on the phone, she kept on referring back to our episode. So it's really sweet to hear that listeners out there are getting something out of this.
Yeah, there's real people on the other side, and glad we get to be in a conversation with you.
Yeah, awesome. So we're super excited about this next episode here. And it's kind of feels like it's all in line of what we're talking about, but it just has this really good flow. And for this episode, we're talking about finding your sweet spot. And, you know, I feel like the more you're in touch with your unique story, the more strategic you can be in how you make your decision and even focus your energy on what you do best.
Yeah. You know, last time the whole thing was about the importance of your story. And today it's really about letting that story drive everything you do. I think I look at businesses and sometimes they're just allowing stuff to happen to them. And I think of it like a boat just drifting in the ocean. So my phrase for 2019 has been true north. And just that reminder that what's our focus meant to be on? We're not meant to just be out there drifting. We want every part of our work to be aligned to what really matters. And once again, there's a movie reference. There's this picture of it that I think about. I think the movie of last year, really, if you go back to 2018, I'm still not over it, man. This movie, the best picture of that year was, I believe, Black Panther. And just watching the one scene that sticks out as he's getting ready to become king. The movie's so much about identity and what makes him who he is. But here he is as he's about to take the throne, and he has to fight for it. And he's just taking these punches, and just the opponent is just talking so much trash and making him wonder if he's even qualified, fit to be king. And right as he's just getting knocked out, he hears this voice from the crowd. His mom says, "Show him who you are." And I remember I got tears in my eyes just thinking, dude, that is like so many businesses. I honestly believe it ties right into what we're talking about today. You're out there, you're just getting punched in the face. You've got all these different things coming at you and different challenges in your business. And our hope is that if you really understand your story, you're going to show them who you are. And that really can drive every aspect of your work.
You know, when I started my business, you know, I started because it was a necessity to make an income. But once you get into it and once you start working, you start thinking to yourself, or there's more to it than that. And once you start thinking that, it doesn't come very clear. And I'm always sitting there thinking, well, who am I? And even just like the movie, if my mom called out, "Hey, tell them who you are," I'll be like, "Oh, okay, so Who am I?" So that took me a long time to really look internally and figure out who I am. And what are some of the ideas you have, Brew, that you can tell our listeners to maybe get started on their thought process?
Totally agree. Yeah, we have to be careful, because if we're just working a job to make money, then we can get bribed. Really, money can start to steer us, and whoever the highest bidder is can turn us one way or the other. And hopefully that's not just the only thing that is our North Star going forward. Hopefully there's some deeper values that you're pulling from. And as we start digging in and examining our story, and we talked about this last time, you know what those key values and some of those overlooked characteristics that we're going to hold on to. Our story will guide us in a few ways. Number one, your story will help you say no. I mean, saying no is a big deal. Because we live in this world of crazy amounts of distractions.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this, man. It's just overwhelming. And as much as it's, I know, distractions with, in the media and all these different things that are clamoring for our attention, it sounds like this small thing, but I just on a personal level, I have to say, I've come to realize that it's almost like if there was a game plan to bring me down. I think about sports, if there's a book on me, and if there's the opponent's trying to ruin my life. I honestly believe in the top three. One of the key things I have to be on my guard against that has the actual danger of taking me out and ruining my life is distractions.
Wow.
It doesn't sound, I know if we really wanted an arch nemesis, you want to have this cool rival like Skeletor, who's this crazy villain who's bringing you down, but whatever. It may not sound that cool or may not sound that interesting, but it doesn't change how much I have to be on the guard against the fact that distractions can straight up ruin me. The last thing I want is on my tombstone it said, "Here lies Dave Brubaker. He could have had something special in his life, but he got distracted." That's just a weak tombstone, man. That is not my story. I don't want to go out like that. But we just have to be on guard. We have to be able to say no when all these different options are coming at us and all these potential distractions are competing for our attention. We have to say, no, this is what I'm focusing on. This is what I'm choosing. I'm making a decision, and I'm blocking out. Every time I make a decision, I'm saying no to a lot of other things, a lot of other cool things that I could watch, or people, even clients I could do business with, but I'm choosing to say, no, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to say no to the other options.
That's so interesting, because that goes back to the book I just read this year. It's called The One Thing. And it really, really talks about focus. If you're going to be an entrepreneur and you have this certain vision and dream and goal and you're going after it, what is your number one thing that you should be focused on? And, I was getting ready to read this section of the book and trying to take notes and stuff. But it was so simple, because it's dude, learn how to say no. And the author, his name is Gary Keller, he backs it up with this quote, and he says, when you give your one thing, and by one thing, he means that true north that we're all talking about right now. He says, when you give your one thing, your most emphatic yes, then vigorously say no to the rest, and extraordinary results will become possible. Because all these things gonna come, and you're just gonna be blowing in a wind, not knowing what direction to take. And in the beginning of creating their new business, I hear people say this a lot. I'm just throwing stuff on the wall, man, see what sticks. And I understand that, because I did the same thing when I started, because you don't know where it's gonna go. You don't have that clear direction and strategy yet. But you have to have something deeper within that is anchoring you and driving you somewhere.
That's right. I don't, like I said, I don't want your business to just happen. I don't want life to just happen to you, as though you're this entrepreneur, you're this leader, and you're just a passive observer of your life just unfolding. No, you have a choice. You have a decision. I'm not saying get out there and make it happen. But I am saying you can say no to things. And dude, you can say yes. You can make choices. This point number 2, it helps you say, when you know your story, it helps you say yes. Knowing which clients to hire, which projects to take on. You don't just have to, well, they called me, so I, of course, had to take their business. Well, not necessarily. Just because it's fun. Anyone can call you. Anyone can try to hire you, and hopefully we're willing to do some of the hard work and self-examination to go, is this really in alignment with what I'm meant to be doing? Is this something that I feel like is the best use of my time? And every once in a while, there's going to be customers that need to be fired. I actually learned this from Southwest. I think we love this company at Boss Media because they got that heart as their logo. Man, we are all heart, and we're in alignment with people that know what it means to put your heart into your work. But I remember hearing the Southwest say they're willing to fire customers, and if you're mistreating someone on their team and you're coming out, you're rude to your staff, they might go out and get you your full refund, but they're not going to fight for your business. They'd rather stand by their staff people and their team and lose a customer. It sounds crazy, but what does it mean to fire a customer and say, you know what, your money's no good here. I'd rather not have your money. I'd rather not have your business and stay true to, this is who I am. This is the type of business. This is how I believe the game is meant to be played. And I'm going to say yes to clients and projects that are in alignment with that.
That's awesome, Brew. And as you were talking, I was thinking to myself too, like there's a lot of listeners out there thinking the same thing I was thinking when I started. What is my true north, and how do I find that? And I feel like we're going to be talking about that a lot, and just figuring out and asking the right questions, and or maybe some of you out there already know what your true north is, but we just want to reemphasize the fact that it is so important to know that, to move ahead and know what the distractions are, because sometimes we're in the middle of a distraction, we don't even know it.
That's right. Yeah, I always have this picture. I think we've talked about the young fish swimming by, and the old fish comes and says, hey guys, how's the water? And they're like, oh yeah, good. And they swim off, and afterwards one of the fish turns to the other young fish and says, what's water? Dude, we don't even know what we're swimming in sometimes. Yeah. We don't even realize we've been so immersed in this culture. The normal is for distractions to be flying at us at all times, to be so busy and just running and not even having time to stop and think. But that's exactly why we're committed to having this conversation, to mining this stuff out of you, to asking these questions and digging in and making sure that we don't just keep doing the same thing day after day and realize 50 years too late that we never knew what true north was.
Yeah.
That we're so committed to making sure that we don't make it matter, means we're not going to waste our life on that stuff.
Yeah. Or even have a false true north, because I hear people talk a lot by saying, hey, I want to start a new business because I want the freedom, and I don't want to have a salary cap, and I want to go after it, and I want to live this extravagant life, and I want to travel, and that become their true north. I think it needs to be a little deeper than that, and they go beyond just the comfort of what you're seeking, the life of luxury or whatever that might be. Yeah,
it reminds me in the film world, they talk about this. There's people that they don't want to actually make movies. They just want the life. They just want to be at parties with cool people. They want to be in like cars and wear the fancy clothes. And it's like, okay, that's not really what you get into movies for, hopefully. I mean, it's not just about the life. Or it kind of reminds me of Ringo Starr, the old Beatles drummer. They asked him, do you think you're a good drummer? And he said, I'm good at like wagging my head around and having a good time. But the actual technical drumming, I'm not really strong at. It's like, dude, at some point, it should be about the drumming. It should be about the actual work that you're meant to do. So yeah, I hope we're spending time, even every time we get together with this podcast, every time we're doing anything for Boss Media, we're going to dig into that together.
Yeah. Okay, Bruce. So your story or your focus will help you say no.
Mm-hmm.
It will also help you say yes.
That's right.
I feel like there's one more.
Yeah, I like to have 3 points, dude. So definitely, let's close it out with point number 3. Your story helps you find your unique sweet spot. If you really got this true north, you're going to understand the exact sweet spot that is the best place where your greatest work comes from. And the biggest question I think about this that can help mine this out is, what makes you different? Do you realize that what makes you different makes you powerful? I think so many people are out there trying to be the same. We were just talking about this. This big question of like, who are you? But a lot of people are doing their business like, well, who do I have to be? What does this job require me to be? And when I compare myself to everyone else out there and looking on Instagram, looking at, comparisons, we're thinking, okay, how do I do exactly what they're doing to be successful? Well, dude, let's think about the different question. What makes you different? There's some things that are different about you that only you can do. If you're just trying to be the same as everyone, it makes me picture a traffic jam on the 405. Everyone going to the exact same place at the exact same time, just jammed up. Is that your picture of success? Dude, imagine having your own lane. Dude, a lane that is you doing what only you can do. There's literally no competition for it because that specific work, that unique difference is your own thing that you can. It's like a carpool lane, a one-car carpool lane that's made for you. And it's exciting. It differentiates you from the competition, and we really believe it'll draw people to you because you'll have customers saying, "I've never thought of it. I've never seen that done before," and that you'll be a unicorn in your field. And that's it. But if we're paying attention, there's something that you bring to the table. There's a value proposition that's specific. There's that old quote that says, "Be yourself because everyone else is taken." Dude, that it sounds dumb. It sounds like a simple cat poster, but we're believing that your sweet spot, there's something that you're uniquely gifted for that no one else can do like you.
Yeah, I felt like you were kind of knocking cat posters.
No, I freaking love cat posters, man. I've got hang in there. You want to be real, dude? Hang in there is my.
Oh, it really is, man. There's an image of a cat hanging from a pole in your lock screen on your phone, dude. I'm
a believer. That's why I have a cat poster that says "believe" as well.
You crazy, man.
So if you're listening to this, I'm assuming you're the type of person, you listen to business podcasts, you see the trends that are happening out in the world, you read the latest business books and try to do that research to figure out what's working. And I'm down with that. I love it. I'm glad you're listening to this. We want to have this important conversation. But I also want to remind you that there's answers in you that you won't find anywhere else. Here's what I mean by that. There's a book I read a few years back called Let Your Life Speak by Parker Palmer. And he had this theory based on some Quaker tradition that was, dude, what does it mean to, instead of going out and looking for the answer out there, searching the world, assuming that the key answers that you need in your life and business are out in the world to be discovered? His thesis is, no, they're meant to be discovered in your own life, in your own story. If you're paying attention and if you have a very close group of friends who come over to your house and take some couple hours to speak into this, to just really quietly sit and listen to your life and have people who know you better than anyone speak into, what is that unique gifting they see in you? What is that difference in you that you bring to the table that no one else can do except you? And the hope is that the more you're paying attention, those answers can be mined out of your life. You don't have to go searching. Search your own story for the things that are the sweet spot that you can bring to the business world.
Man, there's some real solid truth there, man. It really helps me to think and helps me to be truly honest with myself and ask those hard questions to myself that can be mined out. I like that word choice, bro. that can be mined out of my uniqueness of my life. All right, let's sum it all up, bro.
So in closing, remember, you don't have to go looking for answers in a business book. This is the only podcast you need, right?
That's right.
Dude, the key is let your life speak. Your story is going to teach you all the answers you need. It's going to show you what to say no to when those distractions are coming, bombarding you, punching you in the face like Black Panther. It's going to say no. Dude, it's going to show them who you are. It's going to teach you to say yes to the type of clients and projects that actually bring life to you. There's the stuff you were made to do that only you could do. And sometimes maybe fire some of those clients and customers that are wasting your time, that you don't need to be going down that road anymore. And last, it'll lead you to your sweet spot. The most fruitful way you can work, and the work that uniquely you were created for, and it's different, that only you can do. And I'm excited to see you in the zone. When they talk about it in sports, they call it in the zone, is because it's almost like the whole game just slows down because you're shooting your shot and you know exactly what you were made to do. And you're doing the thing that you were uniquely gifted to bring.
That's right. And our hope is that you would find your sweet spot, that one thing, the true north, that makes you different, that makes you unique, and that makes you powerful. So maybe the question that you can ask yourself today is just that. What makes me unique? And don't look outward, look inward. Let your life speak. Hey, also, our hope is that you would share this podcast with others, that it would be the greatest compliment and an honor for us. And also, we would love to hear from you. So leave us a comment on the iTunes review or contact us directly by going to bossmediagroup.com. That's boss, B-O-S, with one S, mediagroup.com. In the meantime, thank you so much for listening. And remember to always make it matter. Bye for now.